Hello student, myself Ravi Anand, and today I am going to teach you a topic under the chapter called to be as a locomotion and movement. First of all, we should know regarding the locomotion and movement. It is basically a complete mechanism regarding the movement of muscles, means how the muscles get contract and they relax. On the behalf of that, under this chapter we will just study and focus regarding that how the muscle get contract and the relax. For that we will study regarding one very important topic, and that very important topic is called to be as an structure of contractile protein. So under this locomotion and movement, we have a structure of contractile protein. That defines what? It defines basically, right, how the muscle helps, or how the muscle can contract and relax with the help of this protein. So that's why they are called to be as in contractile protein. A name contractile protein basically defines a two kind of protein which basically help in the process of muscle contraction and relaxation, which we'll study under the topic called to be as a sliding filament theory. But before that, we will understand what are the two contractile proteins. So under the locomotion and movement, there are two kinds of contractile protein. The two contractile proteins are, one is myosin, another is actin. One is myosin, another is actin. A myosin is a first formed protein. Myosin is what? A first formed protein is myosin. That's why we also called, that is also called primary contractile protein. That's why it is also called to be as a primary contractile protein. Whereas the second formed protein is actin. On the behalf of that, this is called secondary contractile protein. If you are asked in an exam which is the primary contractile protein and which is the secondary contractile protein, so the primary contractile protein will be the myosin, whereas the secondary contractile protein will be the actin. And what are the two kinds of contractile protein which helps in the muscle contraction? So there are two contractile protein which helps in the muscle contraction, right? They are myosin and the actin. Now we will see the structure of the myosin as well as the actin. So starting from the structure of myosin, right? First of all, I want to explain you that a myosin being an protein, the entire protein is composed of what? Amino acid. So that protein is a complex structure, and that complex structure is called to be as a polymer. Again I am repeating, right? Myosin is a kind of protein. A protein is a polymer. So polymer is composed of what? So all polymers are composed of monomer. All polymer are composed of monomer. So myosin also has an monomer. And what is the monomer of myosin is called? The monomer of myosin is called myosin. So what I want to say is, right, all complex substance like carbohydrate is composed of the glucose, a protein is composed of the amino acid, a fat is composed of the fatty acid. In a similar way, right, if a myosin is a protein, then protein is called to be as a polymer, and all polymer are composed of the monomer, and the monomer of the myosin is called to be as a meromyosin. That means what is this? Myosin has a basic unit in the form of what? Meromyosin. In a similar way, right, actin also a protein. This protein is also composed of polymer, or it is a polymer, or protein are called to be as a polymer. This entire polymer is composed of, all polymer are composed of monomer. And what is the monomer of actin is called? So the monomer of actin is called G-actin. What is it called? G-actin. That means what? This actin has a monomer in the form of G-actin, and the myosin has a monomer in the form of meromyosin. So we will study or see the structure of, right, meromyosin as well as the G-actin, that how this particular actin filament or the myosin filament is formed by having a different protein in the form of myosin and the actin, as myosin completely helps in the formation of thick filament, which is also called to be as a A-band, whereas actin filament helps in the formation of thin filament, which is also known as I-band, right? Please note it down. we will explain regarding the structure of meromyosin as well as the G-actin. Okay. See here. So now we will see the structure of this monomer. And what is the monomer of the myosin is called? The monomer of myosin is called meromyosin. Please note it down. See here. So we will start with the structure of meromyosin. What is meromyosin? It is the monomer of myosin. See here. So meromyosin. So each meromyosin has two parts. Each meromyosin has how many parts? Two parts, right? What are the two parts? One is called to be as a head, another is called to be as a tail. One is head, another is called to be as a tail. If we want to see the structure of meromyosin, so it appears as this structure, right? So this is the structure for the meromyosin, in which these parts are called to be as a head, where these parts are called to be as a tail. In between head and tail, we have a bending part, and this complete bending part is called to be as a cross arm. And this cross arm also included in head part. So head has a more number of meromyosin. That's why we can say it is composed of HMM. The complete name of HMM is the heavy meromyosin, whereas tail has a very less amount of meromyosin. That's why we can called to be as a LMM, and this is called to be as a light meromyosin. So tail is composed of the light meromyosin, whereas the head is composed of the heavy meromyosin. Between head and the tail we have a bending part, and this bending part is called to be as a cross arm. So this is the structure of meromyosin. Now each head has two sides. And what are the two sides? One is called ATP binding sites, where the ATP will bind. Another is called to be as a actin binding sites, where the actin filament or the actin protein will be attached. So each head has a two binding side. If it is one side and this is the another side, right? So this side is called to be as an actin binding sites, and this we can call to be as an ATP binding site. So what we have studied till now? So we have studied that, right? There are two contractile protein. One is called to be as a myosin, another is called to be as a actin. The monomer of the myosin is called to be as a meromyosin, and each meromyosin has a two parts. One is the head, another is the tail. Each head has two binding sites. One is called to be as a ATP binding site, another is called to be as a actin binding site, which basically helps in the process of muscle contraction, which we will study according to the NCERT under a topic called to be as a sliding filament theory. But before that, you should understand about what are the structure of meromyosin and what are the structure of G-actin. That means what? We are basically talking about a thick filament and the thin filament. Please note it down. Do it fast. Done. So now we will see the structure of G-actin. Now we will see the structure of what? G-actin. See here. In a structure of G-actin, G defines, this is the part of the actin filament, okay? So G defines a globular actin. This defines what? A globular actin. If you want to see the globular actin, so it is in a circular form. See here. This is one G-actin. This is another G-actin. This is another G-actin. In this way, we are able to form a double helical coiled structure which is similar to the DNA, right? I am making here, which is similar to the DNA. This is a structure of the DNA. In a similar way, we are able to see the structure of actin filament. So that actin filament has a basic unit or primary unit in the form of G-actin. So all the G-actin get attached with each other to form F-actin all the G actin will combine with each other to form what? F actin. So we'll have a double coiled in the sense what? There will be a presence of double layer. So these are the two double layer. These all are called to be as a G actin. See here, okay? So this entire structure is called to be as a group of G actin, and this group of G actin together forms what? F actin. This entire structure is called now F actin. F defines what? Filamentous actin. How the filamentous actin is formed? So filamentous actin is formed by the attachment of 2G actin, and which ion helps in the attachment of 2G actin? That ion is called to be as a magnesium ion. So in the NEET exam, you must have asked a question that which ions helps in the process of muscle contraction. Your answer must be a calcium and the magnesium ion. I am writing here one question: which ions help in the process of muscle contraction? Your answer must be contraction. Your answer must be, right, correct answer must be a magnesium and calcium ion, because without the presence of magnesium and the calcium ion, the muscle cannot be contract, and for the muscle contraction we require two contractile protein. One is the myosin and there is the actin. So this is the structure of the actin. In this actin we have a three form of protein. One is F actin, another a protein passing from the depression, a protein passing in between the depression of this double helical coiled structure, and this particular protein is called to be as a tropomyosin. This structure is called to be as a tropomyosin, and we have a trimeric protein in interval of coiled part. It is an coiled part. This is an coiled part. So in this terminal we have a trimeric protein. In a similar way, right, we are having this trimeric protein, and this particular trimeric protein is called troponin. In this way we are able to say that in an actin filament, in actin protein, we have a filamentous actin, we have a tropomyosin, we have a troponin, which together form what? Actin filament, which appears as a very thin line. That's why we can call to be as a thin line, thin filament, or I band. I basically defines the isotropic, whereas the myosin is having an appearance of thick A band defines the anisotropic. So to study the mechanism of muscle contraction, we must study or know regarding the structure of contractile protein in the form of actin and the myosin. Hope you have liked this lecture, and we will continue in the next class. Thank you.